I'm Dr. Helen Miller, and I'm 70 years old. I know what you might be thinking. 70 doesn't sound young, but let me tell you something that might surprise you. Last month, I stood in the operating room for 5 straight hours. A complicated cardiac procedure. My hands were steady, my mind was sharp, and when I walked out, I felt strong. My grandson Jacob is 25. He works at a tech company. Sits at a desk most of the day. Last weekend, we went hiking together in the mountains near my home. He had to stop 3 times to catch his breath. I didn't stop once. Jacob laughed about it later. He said, "Grandma, you're making me look bad." But I could see the question in his eyes. How was this possible? I've spent 45 years in medicine. 45 years watching patients struggle with aging. Watching their muscles fade. Watching their strength disappear. And I've discovered something important. Something that changed my own life. Something I want to share with you today. It's not about expensive supplements. It's not about some exclusive medical treatment. And it's certainly not what most people think. I eat beef maybe once a month. That's all. The food I rely on costs a fraction of what most people spend on protein. And it's worked well for me in maintaining my strength and energy as I've gotten older. Let me be clear about something. When you eat a steak, your body works hard to break it down and use it. It's a complex process. The protein has to be digested, absorbed, and then utilized by your muscles. Fish works differently. The protein structure is simpler, easier for your body to process, especially as we age and our digestive systems become less efficient. 3 months ago, I met a woman named Evelyn Johnson in Miami. She was 79 years old. She walked with a walker everywhere she went. Evelyn told me she felt defeated. She'd been spending hundreds of dollars every month on premium protein supplements and high-quality beef. Nothing seemed to help her feel stronger. We sat down in my office. I shared my approach with Evelyn. Nothing complicated, just simple, practical advice based on what I'd learned over decades of practice. 2 months later, Evelyn called me. Her voice was different, lighter, happier. She told me she'd put her walker in the garage. She was taking long walks on the beach near her condo. She was climbing stairs without holding the railing. And she wasn't eating expensive beef. She was eating affordable fish from her local grocery store. About $2 worth at a time. I see this frustration in my practice every single day. That sinking feeling when you realize your muscles aren't what they used to be. The exhaustion after climbing just 1 flight of stairs. The fear of losing your independence. Every older patient I see shares some version of this struggle. I'm going to tell you everything I've learned. Not medical jargon, just practical, honest information based on what I've seen work in real life. But I need to be honest with you about something else. If you ignore what your body needs as you age, if you assume expensive foods are always better, you might find yourself losing strength faster than you expect. I don't want that to happen to you. So please, take a moment. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. It helps this information reach more people who need it. And tell me in the comments. What do you usually eat for protein? Are you struggling with muscle loss? I genuinely want to hear your story. Now let me explain what I've discovered. You probably spend a lot on protein. Most people do. A pound of quality beef at the grocery store costs $25 to $30 these days. Maybe more, depending on where you live. You buy it thinking you're investing in your health. You're buying the best protein money can get. But I'm here to tell you something that might surprise you. That $30 purchase might not be the best investment you could make. Let me tell you about George Harrison. Not the Beatle, a different George Harrison, an 82-year-old retired businessman from Dallas. George is wealthy. Money has never been a concern for him. He could eat prime rib every single night if he wanted to. Last year, George came to see me. He looked tired. He'd been feeling weaker. He was using a wheelchair for longer trips because walking exhausted him. George told me something interesting. Despite his wealth, despite eating the finest cuts of beef regularly, he wasn't feeling as strong as he wanted to. I gave George some simple advice. The same advice I'd started following myself years ago. 3 months later, George called me. He sounded amazed. He said, "Helen, my food bill dropped from $400 a month to about $100. And I'm feeling so much better. I'm back on the golf course 3 times a week. No wheelchair, George didn't need to save money. That wasn't the point. He switched because the approach was working better for him than what he'd been doing before. Here's what I want you to understand. Your body doesn't care how much money you spend on your food. It cares about what it can actually use. Beef is dense. It's heavy. It takes a lot of work for your digestive system to break it down. Especially as we get older and our digestive enzymes become less efficient. The protein in beef sits in your stomach longer. Your body works harder to extract the nutrients. Fish is different. The protein structure is lighter, more easily broken down. Your digestive system processes it more efficiently. Let's talk about cost for a moment. 100 grams of good beef sirloin can cost you $8 to $10. That's one serving. You can get 100 grams of quality fish for 50 cents to $2, depending on the type. Sometimes even less if you buy frozen or canned. That's a huge difference. We're talking about 1/10 to 1/20 the cost. And you don't need a specialty health food store. Any regular supermarket has what you need. The fish section, the frozen aisle, the canned goods section. Preparation is simple too. 10 to 15 minutes and you have a meal ready. This is exactly what helped Evelyn Johnson get rid of her walker and start walking on the beach again. Now, you might be wondering why this isn't common knowledge. Why aren't more people talking about this? The truth is complicated. The beef industry is massive, powerful. They spend billions on marketing. I'm not saying there's some conspiracy. I'm just saying the loudest voices in nutrition often represent the biggest money. And beef is big money. Fish doesn't have that same marketing power behind it, especially the affordable kinds I'm talking about. So the information stays quiet. People keep spending their money on expensive beef, assuming it's the only way to maintain their strength. But it's not the only way. In my experience, it's often not even the most practical way. The secret I'm sharing with you today is simple. Fish, but not just any fish. Through 35 years of careful observation, watching what worked and what didn't for my patients, I've identified 5 specific types of fish that seem to work particularly well for maintaining strength and energy. I'm going to tell you about all 5, starting with number 5 and working up to number 1. Each one has its own advantages. But number 1 is truly special. I've seen it help people stay mentally sharp in ways that still impress me. Let's begin. Number 5 on my list is mackerel. Walk into any grocery store. Go to the fish section. You'll find whole mackerel for about $3 to $4. That single fish contains approximately 30 grams of protein. High quality, easily digestible protein. To get 30 grams of protein from beef, you'd need about 5 ounces of steak. That would cost you $15 or more. Mackerel costs $3. Beef costs $15. 5 times the cost for the same amount of protein. I remember Robert Davis, a 77-year-old man from the suburbs of Chicago. Robert came to see me 2 years ago. Robert had type 2 diabetes. He was feeling weaker as time went on. He looked worried when we met. He told me beef was too expensive to eat regularly on his fixed income. Maybe once or twice a month. He felt like he was fighting a losing battle. I looked at Robert and said something simple. Robert, I want you to try eating 1 whole mackerel every other day. Just salt it and bake it or grill it. That's all. Robert looked skeptical, but he trusted me enough to try. 3 months later, Robert came back for his follow-up appointment. I was genuinely impressed with what I saw. His posture was better. He looked more energetic. He told me he felt noticeably stronger. Robert's face lit up when we talked. He said, "Dr. Miller, climbing stairs used to leave me exhausted. Now I barely think about it. And my monthly food bill is under $100. He couldn't believe such an affordable, simple food could make him feel so much better. What makes mackerel work so well? Let me explain what I understand about it. First, it's incredibly easy for your body to digest. The protein doesn't sit heavy in your stomach like beef does. Second, mackerel is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids. These are well known for supporting overall health and reducing inflammation throughout your body. And inflammation can interfere with healthy muscle function. When your body has less inflammation, your muscles can work more efficiently. They recover better after activity. Third, the preparation couldn't be simpler. A little salt, 10 minutes in the oven or on a grill. Done. You don't need fancy recipes. You don't need expensive ingredients. Just simple, straightforward cooking. I eat mackerel myself about once a week. I've been doing it for years. It's become one of my regular staples. But mackerel is only number 5 on my list. The fish at number 4 is even more interesting in some ways. It's even cheaper than mackerel. And I've seen it help people maintain impressive energy well into their 80s. Let me tell you about that fish now. Number 4 is Pacific Saury. You might not be as familiar with Saury. It's less common than mackerel in American stores. But it's available, especially in Asian markets or the international section of larger supermarkets. A single Saury costs about $2. Sometimes less. This small, silver fish contains protein that's very easy for your body to digest and use. Last winter, I attended a medical conference in Atlanta. During a break, I met an extraordinary woman named Gloria Hayes. Gloria was 83 years old, and she told me something that seemed remarkable. She said, "I still run. I participate in marathons." I thought I'd misheard. I asked her to repeat it. Gloria smiled. "I run full marathon races. I've been doing it for years." I was stunned. I had to know more. Gloria explained that she'd been eating Saury 3 times a week for 40 years. Ever since she'd lived in Japan for a few years in her early 40s. I was fascinated by her story. Gloria was clearly in excellent health for her age. Strong, energetic, mentally sharp. Gloria told me something else that stuck with me. She said, "The bones in Saury are soft enough to eat. So I get calcium along with my protein. And I genuinely enjoy the taste." She'd found a food that worked for her body and stuck with it for 4 decades. Let me break down what makes Saury interesting. First, it's incredibly affordable. You can buy 5 Saury for the price of 1 small portion of beef. Second, the protein quality is excellent. Your body can digest it easily. Third, as Gloria mentioned, you can eat the bones. They're soft and edible when cooked properly. This gives you a natural calcium boost in the same meal. Good for bone health. Fourth, Saury contains nutrients that support brain and heart health. I've noticed patients who eat it regularly often maintain good mental clarity as they age. I started recommending Saury to some of my patients after meeting Gloria. Not everyone loves the taste initially. It's a bit stronger than some fish. But those who stick with it often report feeling more energetic. One patient, a 76-year-old woman named Margaret, told me after 2 months, "I feel like I have more stamina throughout the day. I'm not dragging by afternoon anymore." That increased energy makes sense. When your body is getting high quality, easily digested protein, everything functions better. But we're only at number 4. The next 3 fish on my list are even more noteworthy in their own ways. Number 3 is a fish that's been eaten daily in one of the world's longest living populations for over a century. Number 3 is sardines. Have you heard of Okinawa, Japan? It's famous for having more people who live past 100 than almost anywhere else in the world. People in Okinawa regularly live past 100. And they don't just survive. They thrive. They're active, independent, mentally sharp. Researchers have studied the Okinawan diet extensively for decades. And one food keeps coming up again and again. Sardines. The people of Okinawa have eaten sardines almost daily for generations. It's a cornerstone of their traditional diet. I've always found the connection between sardines and longevity fascinating. I've recommended them to many patients over the years. Last year, I had a patient named Patricia Chen from Hawaii. Patricia was 81. She'd just had a total knee replacement. Knee replacement is major surgery. Recovery can be difficult, and one of the biggest challenges is weakness in the leg muscles afterward. Patricia was worried. Her doctors had told her that regaining her strength would take time and effort. I sat with Patricia and made a simple suggestion. "Patricia, I want you to eat small sardines 4 times a week. The tiny ones you can eat whole, bones and all." Patricia was willing to try anything to help her recovery. 2 months later, Patricia came back to my office. The change was striking. Her knee recovery had progressed well. Patricia was walking confidently. She'd already resumed most of her normal activities. Patricia told me with genuine excitement, "Dr. Miller, I feel good. Strong. I'm taking my great-grandchildren to amusement parks. I can shop for hours without getting tired. What makes sardines so valuable? First, they're small. You eat them whole, head to tail. Every nutrient in that fish goes into your body. It's complete nutrition. Second, sardines contain concentrated amounts of protein, omega-3s, calcium, vitamin D, and other essential nutrients, all in one tiny package. Third, they're incredibly affordable. A can of sardines costs about $2. That can provide enough protein for several meals, depending on your needs. Fourth, they're convenient. Canned sardines are available everywhere. You can keep them in your pantry. No refrigeration needed until you open them. There's a saying in Okinawa: the person who eats sardines does not grow old. I eat sardines myself regularly. Usually twice a week, sometimes on crackers, sometimes in a salad, sometimes straight from the can with a little lemon juice. They've become one of my favorite foods. Not just because they're nutritious. I genuinely enjoy them. I've recommended sardines to hundreds of patients over the years. Most report feeling positive changes within a few weeks. More energy, better endurance, improved overall sense of well-being. But we still have 2 more fish to discuss. And these top 2 are truly exceptional. Number 2 is a fish so common you probably have it in your pantry right now. Yet most people don't realize how beneficial it can be. Number 2 is tuna, specifically, canned tuna. I can already hear what you're thinking. Tuna? That's it? That's the big secret? Stay with me, because canned tuna is more valuable than most people realize. You can buy a can of tuna at any grocery store for about $2. Sometimes less if it's on sale. That small can contains powerful, high-quality protein that your body can use efficiently. Tuna has been studied extensively for its nutritional value. It's widely recognized as an excellent source of lean protein. Let me share a story about Professor David Kim. David is an 85-year-old retired professor from Princeton. David came to consult with me last winter. He looked exhausted, worn down. David said, "Helen, I'm losing my strength. Just walking up a short flight of stairs leaves me completely breathless. I feel weak all the time." David was a brilliant man. He'd spent his career in academia. But the physical decline of aging was frightening him. I gave David simple advice. "Professor, eat half a can of tuna every day. Mix it with a little olive oil and lemon juice if you like. Just try it consistently for 3 months." David was skeptical but willing. When David returned 3 months later, the change was obvious. His handshake was firmer. His eyes were brighter. He stood straighter. David told me, "Dr. Miller, I can walk upstairs now without getting so winded. I feel stronger. I have more energy throughout the day." He'd even started working on a new research paper. Something he thought he'd never have the energy to do again. What makes tuna so effective? First, it's packed with an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is important for muscle health and maintenance. It helps signal your body to maintain muscle tissue. Tuna has leucine in abundance. Second, the protein quality in tuna is excellent. It's lean. It's easily digested. Your body can use it efficiently. Third, the convenience factor is huge. You open a can. You eat it. No cooking required if you don't want to cook it. You can mix it with rice. Put it on crackers. Add it to a salad. Eat it straight from the can. I keep several cans of tuna in my pantry at all times. It's my go-to when I need quick, quality protein. Some research suggests that eating protein-rich foods like tuna before exercise can help support muscle maintenance. I've seen patients who adopted this habit report feeling stronger over time. I eat tuna myself probably 3 times a week. Sometimes more. It's become a staple in my diet. But we've reached the final fish on my list. Number 1. This fish is special. I've seen it help people stay mentally sharp in ways that still impress me after all these years in medicine. Here it is. Number 1. The fish I consider the most valuable of all. Salmon. When you eat salmon regularly, you're not just feeding your muscles. You're nourishing your entire body, especially your brain. Salmon has been extensively studied for its health benefits. It's well known in the medical community for supporting both physical and cognitive health. Let me tell you about Howard Jenkins. Howard is an 83-year-old man from Oregon. I met Howard at a medical symposium last year. We got talking during lunch. Howard told me he'd been eating salmon twice a week for 40 years. I was intrigued. Howard was clearly in excellent health for his age. Sharp mind, good physical condition. Howard looked at me and said, "I still solve complex math problems for fun. I'm teaching myself Italian. My memory serves me well." You could hear the vitality in his voice. At 83, Howard was functioning at a remarkably high level. What makes salmon so special? First, salmon contains high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically DHA and EPA. These are well documented for supporting brain health. They help maintain healthy brain cell structure. They support neural function. Second, the protein quality in salmon is outstanding. It's easily digested and utilized by your body. Third, salmon supports cardiovascular health. It helps support healthy blood vessels. This means better circulation to your brain and muscles. Fourth, omega-3s are known to support mood balance. Some of my patients who started eating salmon regularly report feeling more emotionally stable. I know salmon has a reputation for being expensive, and fresh salmon can be pricey. But here's what I want you to know. Frozen salmon is much more affordable. You can buy quality frozen salmon fillets for about $5 to $7 per serving. And you only need to eat it twice a week to get the benefits. Compare that to expensive beef. Salmon is actually more cost-effective when you consider the nutritional value you're getting. I eat salmon twice a week without fail. I have for years. It's non-negotiable for me. I bake it simply. A little olive oil, some lemon, fresh herbs if I have them. 20 minutes in the oven. The taste is wonderful. The nutritional value is clear. I genuinely look forward to my salmon meals. Now you know all 5 fish: mackerel, saury, sardines, tuna, and salmon. Each one has its own strengths. Each one is affordable and accessible. But knowing what to eat is only half the equation. You also need to know when and how to eat it for best results. Let me share what I've learned about that. Timing can make a difference in how you feel after eating. Your body's digestive system works differently throughout the day. Your digestive enzymes are more active at certain times. Based on what I've observed with my patients over decades, many people feel better when they eat their fish in the morning. Between 7 and 9 a.m. When you eat protein-rich foods during this window, your body seems to process them well. You get sustained energy throughout the day. If you eat the same meal in the evening, your digestive system is winding down. Many people report feeling too full or uncomfortable. I had a patient named Thomas Lee from Seattle. Thomas is 76 years old. He told me something interesting last year. Thomas said, "Dr. Miller, I noticed a big difference. The same fish for breakfast versus dinner. Breakfast makes me feel energized all day. Dinner just makes me feel heavy." Thomas had been eating his fish at dinner for months. When he switched to breakfast, he felt better within weeks. I eat my fish in the morning too, usually around 8 a.m. It's become part of my routine. Now let's talk about combinations. Certain foods, when eaten together with fish, seem to work well together. I recommend eating your fish with green vegetables. Broccoli, spinach, kale, green beans. These vegetables are nutritious and complement fish well. Also consider eating your fish with brown rice. The B vitamins in brown rice support overall metabolism. They work well with protein. I'll give you a simple weekly plan that works for many of my patients. Monday, eat mackerel. Tuesday, rest. Wednesday, saury. Thursday, rest. Friday, sardines. Saturday, tuna. Sunday, salmon. Eating fish every other day gives your digestive system time to process what you've eaten. It prevents you from getting tired of eating fish every single day. This is the basic pattern I follow myself. Sometimes I adjust based on what's available or what I feel like eating. But this is the foundation. Drink a glass of water before you eat your fish. It helps prepare your digestive system. And after eating, don't lie down immediately. Take a short walk if you can. Even just around your house. It helps with digestion. These are simple adjustments, but they can make a real difference in how you feel after eating. Now I need to tell you about some important things to avoid. There are certain combinations that can interfere with digestion or cause discomfort. First and most important, be careful combining fish with alcohol. This is especially important for anyone over 65. Alcohol can stress your liver. Fish contains rich oils. Together, They can put extra burden on your digestive system, particularly your liver. If you choose to drink alcohol, do it at a different time from when you eat fish. Give your body time to process one before adding the other. Second consideration. Some people find that combining fish with milk or dairy products at the same meal causes digestive discomfort. The different types of protein can be harder for your stomach to process together. If you notice any discomfort, try eating your fish with vegetables and grains instead. Save the dairy for a different meal. Third, some people are sensitive to coffee after eating fish. Coffee can interfere with iron absorption from food. If you're concerned about getting enough iron, wait a couple hours after eating fish before having coffee. I drink my coffee in the early morning. I eat my fish around 8. By the time I want another coffee, enough time has passed. Now let's talk about preparation. I always recommend cooking your fish thoroughly. Don't eat it raw. I know sushi is popular, but for anyone over 65, raw fish carries some risk. Your immune system isn't quite as robust as it used to be. Cook your fish thoroughly. Baking, grilling, or steaming are all excellent methods. I avoid deep frying. The high heat can damage the beneficial oils. It also adds unnecessary calories. Keep the seasonings simple. Salt, pepper, lemon, herbs. That's all you need. As we age, our bodies handle sodium differently. Too much salt can contribute to high blood pressure. So I use salt sparingly. These guidelines might seem like a lot, but they become second nature once you establish the routine. I've been following these patterns for years. They're just part of how I eat now. I don't even think about them anymore. And I feel the results. At 70, I'm healthy and strong. We've covered a lot of ground together. You now know the 5 fish that have made the biggest difference in my life and in the lives of my patients. Mackerel at number 5, affordable and packed with omega-3s. Saury at number 4, exceptional for sustained energy. Sardines at number 3, the Okinawan longevity staple. Tuna at number 2, convenient and rich in muscle supporting leucine. And salmon at number 1, the brain and body champion. You know the timing suggestion. Many people feel best eating their fish between 7 and 9 in the morning. You know the good combinations. Green vegetables and brown rice complement fish well. You know the things to be careful about. Alcohol with fish, dairy at the same meal, coffee immediately after. You know the preparation methods. Always cook it thoroughly. Keep it simple. Now the information is yours. The choice is in your hands. But information alone doesn't change anything. You have to act on it. I'm asking you to start tomorrow morning. Wake up, drink a glass of water. Between 7 and 9 a.m., eat some fish. Add some broccoli or spinach on the side. Follow the weekly pattern. Mackerel Monday, Saury Wednesday, sardines Friday, tuna Saturday, salmon Sunday. Just try it for 1 month. That's all I'm asking. 1 month. I think you'll notice a difference. Changes in your energy, your sense of well-being, how you feel day to day. This approach has worked for me. It's why I can still perform complex surgeries at 70. It's why I can out-hike my 25-year-old grandson. Evelyn Johnson put away her walker because she started eating affordable fish regularly. Gloria Hayes runs marathons at 83 and credits her diet including Saury. Professor David Kim feels energetic at 85 and eats tuna daily. I've seen too many people in my career spend money on expensive, complicated solutions. People who kept doing what they'd always done, expecting different results. They struggled more than they needed to. They lost strength and independence faster than necessary. That concerns me deeply every time I see it. That's why I'm sharing everything I know with you today. I want you to live a long, healthy life on your own terms. You can do this. I believe you can. Age is just a number. I'm living proof of that. At 70, I feel better than I did at 50. You can maintain your strength. You can keep your independence. You can enjoy an active, vibrant life for years to come. Please subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. Share this video with your family and friends. The only way this information reaches more people is if you help spread it. Tell me in the comments. What will you start eating tomorrow morning? What's your goal? I wish you the very best of health. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Now go take that first step. Your healthier future starts tomorrow morning. Good luck. And stay strong.